This is a routine that it's really more for testing, but think of it as being something that whenever you have taken your listing, you've submitted it to MLS, MLS submission date, you put in a date in SAM that you've done that process, then it might kick off and do some kind of process of some sort, whatever you need to do after you submit an MLS to, or a listing to MLS. Um, One of the things that came up was I need to be able to assign my listing coordinator or other team members to this activity that play a role of some sort. Well, we've had for some time, we've had the ability to select the listing coordinator or whatever. The one assumption, which is a bad assumption, is that you had previously assigned that listing coordinator role in the listing. So, as a for instance here, let me go to properties, and let me just go to some property here for some reason. Go here. Okay, so here's a listing that we've got. We've gone into the listing section, so you've got all kinds of items here. You might have the listing and the important dates where you could assign the MLS date. So I have the MLS date so that it doesn't show when it's empty. I can come over here and do a search for just MLS and MLS date, and I can then assign a date. Whenever I assign the date, then it would start the routine for that process. Well, the assumption was before you started that you might have gone into your party members and you would have assigned your party members for the different things that you have. In this case, I have sellers assigned, but I don't have that listing coordinator. I don't have the listing agent. Those types of roles that my team inside the account would actually be assigned to do tasks. So I would need to make sure that I have those people in there. Again, the assumption was you would come in here beforehand and do it, but that's just not a good assumption. You may not have assigned those. So whenever you go to do that date, you come in here and you assign a date field to this. Let's just assign today's date. We put it in today at 1:13. Okay, so now whenever you do this, it will come up and say, hey, I'm going to be starting the MLS submission date routine. Inside of it, it requires that we know who the party members are that's going to play these roles, the listing coordinator and or the listing agent. Well, we might say, well, Mackenzie is going to be the listing coordinator and myself being the listing agent, or maybe it's Cody or whatever. So you pick those pieces, and then once you do that, you hit OK. Then now what it will do is it will then go in there and say, well, now we've got those people connected. So you don't have to go in and pre-assign them ahead of time. Not a huge deal. Previously, you'd probably have had some kind of starting routine field where you asked for these party members as part of a checklist. But since we know we need them, make sure that we've got them, you select them, and then they get auto added if they're not there. Now, if they are there, whenever I go and start that, it's going to automatically pre-pick those people in those drop downs. It'll still give you the drop downs, but it will at least pre-select them so that you can just hit OK and go on if everything's right. It's just wanting to verify that those party members are correct. So to do that, going back to the routine area, is going back to this piece right here, is all you have to do is, instead of selecting, or in addition to selecting a person, maybe I always want Cody to be on there as well as the listing coordinator. Now, if Cody is the listing coordinator, it'll only put him in there once, no big deal. But in this case, Cody would automatically be assigned to this activity, but whoever I select from the drop down would also be selected in this. Does that make sense? So this will remove any challenges that you've got. Now, one of the other things that we talked about last week was, well, I've got a routine that I set up, but sometimes it's me that's running the routine, and sometimes it's another user. Maybe I've got another listing coordinator, or a buyer's agent, or a listing agent that's on my team that particular routine needs to be assigned to them. I've also added this one here called current user. So whoever starts the routine is who would be assigned that. So if I'm the listing agent and I use a particular one, if it's using the current user, me, then I would be assigned that routine as opposed to anybody else that's assigned to that. So this is just a way to say, whoever's starting it, whoever the current user is that's starting this routine, is the person that's going to be assigned to that activity. So it puts it in as current user. Any questions on those? I forget who, I think it may have been Michael that asked the question. Does that answer?
Yeah, I think that's a great fix.
Okay. So that was the solution. It was easy to do. Just wanted to make sure it was there. Now, the other thing is true, where if you're doing this, let's go back to a property and go back into a listing. Now, those party members only work for listings, transactions, and projects. If you have projects, that's where we have the party members section in here. You don't, it wouldn't pull it from other things. So those items are only available in those three categories of pieces, whether it's a transaction or whatever. Now, if you are on the calendar, just you're here, and maybe you've got a routine that's not set to be active, where if you put in a date, it automatically starts. You've got the routine, but you don't have it set to automatically start if I enter a date. That's fine. Or maybe it just has a start date of start date. The key date is start date, where it puts in the default date based off of whenever you started. Within the calendar section, and also within the routine list section, you can see what routines are currently being run on any given property, listing, transaction, contact, whatever. You can see what is currently running inside your routine list. We've got this little play button to start a routine manually. Same type of thing. It'll ask for a date. It'll ask for the party members if they are being assigned through that routine. You'll get the list there as well. So both of those are taken care of in both the routines thing. So if you're doing it manually, or if you're doing it through the calendar manually, there's a start routine there. Or if you're just putting in a date and have it set to run automatically through an active routine, then any of those should now pop up and ask you who is the party member.